Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Expansion Pack podcast, where we download this week's gaming news, and of course, we bring it to you. I'm your host Denzel, aka Black Ice. There's really only one story to talk about today. We finally got a Splinter Cell announcement, ladies and gentlemen. So, that's it. That's the news for the week. We'll see you next week. Thank you. Bye.
Stay gooping.
No, y'all. Y'all already know I'm hyped. I got myself a Splinter Cell. We're gonna talk about that a little bit later. But of course, like I said, it's the Expansion Pack podcast. I'm joined with my amazing co-host here, starting off with Goop Master Flex.
You already know. Stay gooping.
Of course. Then we got my boy down low, May 25th. How you doing?
Pause. I'm good.
Pause.
You be like, down low,
You said down low.
Down,
Is
like
that not worthy of a pause?
I mean, you go up high, down low, too slow.
Even the whole, I don't like none of that. No, none of that.
Oh, you hit him with the how you doing. All right. Well, guys, we just came off the heels of the Game Awards. A lot of really big announcements. For those of you who are watching and listening, if you guys actually did happen to join us on the YouTube page when we were co-streaming the Game Awards, thank you guys for joining. It was a ton of fun. Manny and I were getting into it, having a ton of fun watching all the announcements and stuff like that. Unfortunately, we were missing my guy May 25th, but he's here now. And
I had to work, y'all. I had to work.
Yeah,
all right.
It's all right. It is what it is. But we're going to talk about games like we always do. So, Mr. May 25th, now that you're here, we're gonna let you do your thing. Take it away, man. Your segment.
It's weird, man. It's December, and we got a couple of days up north where we're still in the 50s. It's very weird. But be that as it may, we got an icebreaker this week. Damn it. Very simple. Very, very simple. Let's give a shout out to somebody. Everybody on the panel. Think of somebody in gaming from this year. Shout them out. They might have did something. Could be a dev team. Could be a singular person. Could be a character in a video game. I don't care. We taking it easy this week. Shout them out. This is your time to give somebody else some shine. All
right, bet. Well, you know the drill. What you got, Chris?
Yeah. Okay, so for me, the person who I would like to give some shine to, seriously. Shout out my boy Cross. This brother, let me tell y'all something about Cross. Cross is a guy that I watch on YouTube, on the tube of you.
You gotta say,
and he gives me content. All right, his full name's I gotta give no respect. Astrocross Gaming. He makes Destiny videos, and god damn it, it's some of the most thorough, some of the most entertaining. It's good stuff. It's really good stuff. Watched him for a few years now. While we're in the spirit of giving. Astrocross, thank you so much for teaching your boy about some of these roles on these weapons. Seriously, bro. He's not even getting paid by Bungie. He's not. All right, so my boy, he don't know me, but I know you. You know what I'm saying? And give my boy a shout out, bro. Know what I'm saying?
Aztec Cross is apparently Chris's content creator of the year.
You're goddamn right.
He got snubbed at the Game Awards,
He did.
He'd be the next year. He'd be the next year. We make sure.
All right. Manny, what you got, man? Who you shouting out?
We're shouting out content creators. Could be content. I'm gonna go cheating. Tim the Tatman, shout out. Great guy, entertaining always. Egghead. You gotta love it. You know what I'm saying? But what I really want to shout out though is Square Enix for putting out the bangers. You know what I'm saying? Can we talk about Guardians of the Galaxies? You know what I'm saying? Shout out to them for actually not
Outriders. Let's just keep shit into perspective here.
Yeah.
Square Enix. No, that's Ubisoft.
Yeah.
No, that's Square Enix.
Nah, man, that's Square Enix.
You can look it up right now, guys.
How you gonna
check them?
Daddy,
Riders Republic.
Daddy, What?
Not Riders Republic. He said Outriders.
I don't know. I heard
You heard
writers.
Riders and you, yeah.
Yeah. All right, my bad, guys. Back to the top of the story, top of the morning.
He was about to lose a bet. I'm about to say put some money on that before you go to that Google, bro.
But what is it called? But yeah, shout out to Guardians of the Galaxy. Such a great game, And I feel like they get the respect they deserve, especially after flopping on our Avengers and coming back.
They flopped really hard on Avengers
Yeah,
and
was them,
Outriders, but I will say Guardians of the Galaxy is very, very good. So I respect it. That's clearly Manny's game of the year, guys. Spoiler alert. For me, this is probably a cop out in a sense. It's a pretty easy one. I'm surprised none of you took this one because it's low hanging fruit. I'm going to shout out my boy Phil Spencer for making an amazing year of gaming with Xbox.
I knew that was coming. That's what I noticed.
Yeah, it was killing it with Game Pass. Killing it with the games themselves, like Halo Infinite's absolute banger. Just delivering surprise after surprise. Even at the Game Awards, seeing Hellblade 2. Oh my God, absolutely the most amazing looking game I've ever seen to this date. Xbox has just had an absolutely amazing year, and Phil Spencer's, a large part of that. He's been driving the ship ever since 2016, 17. And I was watching the Xbox documentary, Power On, the story of Xbox, and it's 6 episodes long. For those of you who don't know about it, it's on the Xbox YouTube page. It is absolutely fascinating to kind of go through the whole history of how the Xbox came to be, how it almost never was. They don't pull any punches. They go into the Red Ring of Death situation. They go into the TV situation with the Xbox One, and how Xbox was pretty much dead in the water last generation. And the best part of the whole series was like at the end when they really kind of dive into Phil Spencer's role about, how he took the company or took the Xbox team away from the TV ambitions and really drove it back to making Xbox what it's always been about, which is about games and gamers and making the most powerful console that there is. So I really got to shout out Phil Spencer. He's done an absolutely amazing job since he's taken over. And this year in 2021 has been no different. So thank you, Phil.
Thank you, Phil.
God damn it, I felt that.
One day, Phil, we've been spamming your emails. Come to our show.
For real, man.
Yo, you want to talk about
Phil.
We should just email him just to see what happens. We should just do it one day. Seriously. We're small and we need this. Hey.
We'll probably get like an automatic reply like, fuck you.
No. Or maybe he feel good and does it. That'd be crazy.
I think we should do it. Who are you guys? Who?
We're the XP.
You're gonna hit us with that copyright infringement. You using X on the Xbox podcast? Copy your Xbox. No, it's
all out of admiration, right? There's no power greater than X. That's what they say.
Yeah, we could show them remember the first logos and stuff we had? And it was really very much inspired by the Xbox and everything. Yeah, and granted, it was trash, Mr. Phil Spencer. Please don't take offense. But it was truly inspired.
He's not talking about the Xbox logo. He's talking about our rendition of it.
Nah. Remember when we first started and it was that green, muted, weird look? Yeah.
All right, man. We were figuring it out. Look where we're at now. Everything's cleaner. We're getting better as time goes on.
Yeah, we getting cleaned. Yes, sir. Come on, Phil.
Come on, Phil. I know you want to stay gooping. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, we should put that in the email. We will put you on this lifestyle. I don't know if you heard about gooping, but you should come on the pod and we'll tell you about it.
Yo.
Hey, actually, you know what? Any one of the people we've shouted out so far, Cross, if somehow you hear this, hit us up. We'd love to talk to you about some Destiny. We could X Manny out for an episode because he don't fuck up Destiny like that.
Get him the fuck out of here for that. That's one. Right. We don't need you, man.
As long as you give him the gooping ritual.
Oh, okay, yeah. Hey, you got big shoes to fill there, So I don't know if he's up for the task, but hey, we'll see. But yeah, anybody from Square Enix, anybody from the Guardians of the Galaxy team, if y'all want to come on, come find us. Let us know.
Timmy, yeah, Egghead.
Tim Tap Man, let us know. Let us know. All right, y'all. But let's get into the topics. We having fun with the icebreaker. But it's time to get into the bigger topics. I mean, we really only have two major topics this week. It's Splinter Cell, guys. First one, Splinter Cell, and the second one's going to be a recap of the Game Awards. So, let's get right into it. Today, as of this recording, finally, the thing we've been talking about. We talk about this all the time. We manifest things on this podcast, and lo and behold, again, we've manifested ourselves a new Splinter Cell game. So we're going to take the credit for that.
Definitely.
Shout out us, yo. Shout out us, yo.
Without us, we wouldn't have the great games we have today.
Man.
Shout out us, yo.
Us.
Jesus.
So
the X stands for, X marks the spot. So we on the spot with it,
We don't miss like Hawkeye, right?
They don't miss.
I think I'm a better hero than Hawkeye. Deadshot.
Bruh. Yo, don't disrespect Hawkeye. Have you been watching the Hawkeye series?
No.
What? It's amazing. Haley Steinfeld is. Oh my God! Don't even.
Do you say Seinfeld?
Anyways, guys. So Splinter Cell. Again, like I said, Ubisoft has announced a brand new Splinter Cell, or a Splinter Cell remake, I should say. That just got greenlit. Actually, you know what? I'm going to read you guys the press release that Ubisoft themselves put out today. So it reads, Ubisoft has greenlit the development of a Splinter Cell remake that will draw from the rich canvas of the brand. Led by Ubisoft Toronto, the game will be rebuilt from the ground up using Ubisoft's own Snowdrop engine, the same engine being used to develop the new Avatar game, as well as Ubisoft's upcoming Star Wars game to deliver new generation. That's a weird term. New generation visuals and gameplay, and the dynamic lighting and shadows the series is known for. So when I hear that just reads ray tracing, I hope, because ray tracing is great for lighting. But yeah, I mean, we don't really have a lot of information so far, outside of this. They dropped a little 8-minute video just kind of talking about the series roots. I think the video is really just almost like a sizzle, not really sizzle reel, but like a way to just get people hyped up for it, because they really don't have anything to show. Like they said, it just got greenlit. We're probably another 2 to 3 years away from this. I have to say, I'm really surprised this wasn't announced at the Game Awards. I would have to believe that maybe, there was a lot of stuff announced at the Game Awards, so maybe they couldn't get into that slot. Maybe some sort of deal that they had fell through, but it seems weird that a week later we get this announcement. And honestly, it's not, I guess it's not much of an announcement other than to just say that he's coming back. We're getting Sam Fisher back, or, a remake of the classic game. So interesting to see it done this way. But with that being said, I already know I'm excited for this. So I want to get your guys' thoughts. Manny, what do you think about my boy Sam?
Yeah, it's about damn time. We've been, I feel like every week it's been like a ritual to be like Splinter Cell. But I'm glad that when the devs were talking about the game, they're, of course talking about the original game, of course, and how revolutionary the original game was. The lighting was amazing for a game that was made back in the days. I don't know exactly the year, but even the smaller details of just that fish tank thing where they showed during the dev thing, shooting the fish tank and the water going down all the way to the bullet hole, but not going past it, showing the realism of what it was back then. And it's the amount of attention to detail for what it was back then is crazy. And I kind of hope it's kind of something that they bring back with the new Splinter Cell, because with the recent ones, it kind of felt more of an action adventure kind of game instead of a tactical stealth game, what it usually or originally was. So I'm hoping to see that it does go back to its original roots. Maybe have it so you got to take out a target, but you have 50 different ways of taking them out, kind of thing, and you can use different ways of going about. Instead of a linear action game like we've seen in the last couple of games.
I feel that. Chris, have you actually ever played Splinter Cell back in the day?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh
We
yeah,
never
I
talked
played a
about it, so
couple
I
of
didn't
them.
know. Okay.
Yeah, man, you wildin'. What?
Mhm.
Listen, listen, man.
Let me tell you
To
something.
me, this is pure hype because I'm really happy that it's a remake and not a remaster. Um, I know some people are disappointed with that. They're like, "Oh, we just want a sequel game," and I'm like, "Don't y'all dummies see that this means that the sequel game's on the way after this one's done?" Like when they do a remake of a game from like when's the first one come out? Like actually, I'm assuming because we don't even know which one they're gonna remake, right?
I think it was like 2001.
Yeah, they're remaking the very first one. So
That
yeah,
yeah, it's
yeah.
old, right?
And if
Like,
I remember correctly, it was one of the first games that Microsoft showed off on the original Xbox when they were
Mhm.
debuting it. So I want to
mm,
say it released in 2002, 2001. 2001 is when the original Xbox released. I know this because of that documentary. So make sure I check that out.
so that's
But
2 decades, man.
yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
2 decades. And so, like, the only thing that's going to feel the same is literally the narrative in the story, the game. But the rest of the game is going to feel brand new.
Absolutely.
We're talking about 2 decades. Like, this is a brand new game. I don't care if they put a remake title on it. To me, this is a brand new game. I think the reason why it got announced when it got announced is due to the fact that, this is my guess, I think the game's been in development for a little bit now, in terms of at least mulling over what they want to do.
Mm.
And I don't think they planned on announcing anything.
Mm.
I'm guessing that, when the Game Awards come around, all of us are sitting there at the same time going, oh, hopefully we get a Splinter Cell announcement or something. We were always thinking that every time. I think that because they had decided that they were going to do the game anyways, maybe a couple months ago or whatever, and I know people got on Reddit and they're always going to complain about how we got nothing for Splinter Cell. Like, it's loud every year. I just think this was the year where they were like, all right, we're doing a remake, so you know what? All right, just tell them that it's coming, so that way we can start to build it from now. That's the only way it makes sense to me, because then I think it would have been on the Game Awards show. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
No, that's a really good point. Because if they just greenlit it, because that's the one thing it seems like, at least with the Game Awards, that you need to plan to be there like a ways out. So if you just greenlit this, probably all those spots were taken up, So
yeah,
I can see
absolutely.
that.
And even if it wasn't the case, I mean, like, if it was just a recently greenlit thing, but they even, like, if they had an opportunity to take a spot, I feel like since it is so early in the development phase that, like, they probably had nothing to show anyways. And I feel like at the Game Awards, you have to show at least something like all these other games. So,
They could have whipped up like a 3D.
I was gonna say Fable did that.
I mean,
Fable didn't show us shit.
That's last year that was like the majority of the trailers, like the Callisto project or experience or whatever. That was like completely CG. It was only like a tonal, like you got the tone of what was happening.
Even the Perfect Dark one was kind of not really gameplay. It was just a teaser,
So I mean, unless it was really that new that this just got greenlit, like literally like last month or something, I guess then maybe you don't have time to put together a CG trailer, but no, it's interesting. But then the other thing is that Perfect Dark game has been in development for a while. So
yeah,
they definitely have assets. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll find out.
Yeah.
We'll find out.
But speaking of
Game Awards,
go ahead.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I really do hope that they make this with the Unreal. Oh no, sorry. They said they're using the Snowdrop one. Never mind.
But I mean,
just realized you just said that.
I don't know if you guys remember though, when we did see that Avatar game, that was like a showstopper. People were like, "Holy shit, that looks beautiful." Now it doesn't look like Hellblade or like the Matrix beautiful necessarily, but that's an engine that they've still been working on. So who knows? I mean, by the time it comes out, if they really get everything, layered right with the ray tracing and all that stuff, like, because the lighting, and they talk about it in the dev series and obviously in the little blurb that I read, but the lighting in particular has always been a very crucial part of the gameplay. And it's what made the game look so realistic as well. Actually being in the shadows and knowing, okay, like, I'm in the dark, people shouldn't be able to see me. It helped immerse you in that world. So I think the graphics are going to be a very big part of it. Splinter Cell's graphics have always been a benchmark. So
yeah, man.
But
It's actually coming, boys.
oh my god, don't even.
We
We can't talk about it anymore because they're gonna go dark. We're not gonna see anything for a long time.
It's probably not going to come out until like 2023 at earliest.
Yeah,
know what?
yeah,
That's
definitely,
cool.
definitely 20. But at
Mhm.
least we're getting
Whatever.
it. I'm fucking hyped. Like I just want the game. That's all it is. I just want it here,
Mhm.
and to know that it's coming at some point is very exciting. So a couple other games that kind of fall into that same mark that we learned about at the Game Awards. So let's dive right into it here. I want to save the conversation about the game of the year for last because it's an interesting one, obviously based off of who won. So let's start with the game announcements. Since we were already talking about game announcements here, so just go around the table here. What are your two favorite or biggest or most important game announcements that were at the Game Awards last week? Chris, I'm gonna start with you.
So just to clarify, I can't necessarily say Hellblade because that's already been announced, right? This was more like an update than an announcement.
No.
Can I say that?
Literally anything that was revealed, even if it was
okay,
an update,
cool.
anything that was revealed.
Okay. So if that's the case, then the first game, Hellblade, bro, what the fuck? Like, yo, you know what's funny? So I watched the video because I wasn't there to watch it with you guys, and I watched it after. And I always read comments. That's my shit. I sit down and I watch the video and I look in the comments and say, "This is talking shit." And I'm looking, and the amount of people that are sitting there like, "Oh, what the hell is this? So when was the graphics supposed to start? Why are y'all getting so hype over a big ass CGI trailer? What the hell?" And then there's so many people that just come into their replies and just clown. I'm like, you can always tell who has not really played the game.
I was just gonna say that, bro. You can tell because like the moment the trailer starts, or like sorry, the gameplay starts, and like you see like the camera shift over to her shoulder and the way it moves, and I'm like, oh shit. Oh, I mean, y'all thought like y'all could go back and watch the footage, man. I'm sitting here like, yo, my jaw is dropped because I was like, this is definitely gameplay. I know how this game works. That's definitely gameplay. Oh,
yeah, man. It's
so jazzed about this.
Yeah, man. It was unbelievable. So here's another thought that hit me after I'm watching this trailer. I'm like, you know? And I wouldn't have thought this after I played the first one, and I still haven't beat the first one yet, by the way. I got to do that. But this game, people always say Xbox doesn't have one of those like narrative hitters. This is one of them. This is if this game hits the way I'm thinking it's gonna, there's no way you're gonna tell me that this is not in the same breath as Horizon and God of War and all that stuff. There is absolutely no way you're gonna say no. I refuse to take that. Like, I'm not even gonna entertain that kind of conversation because, bro, the amount of detail that we saw in this little stupid ass trailer that they gave us, and I say stupid in a good way. Fam, like the way the fire looked, the NPCs especially too, right? Like you're looking at how everything's working and stuff, and the NPCs are moving so fluidly around you to the way it's almost like this hybrid version of a cutscene and gameplay. And, I didn't even touch on the craziest thing yet. Another thing about this game is like you don't fully know what's in the game until you're actually playing it, and this is one of the biggest games that can do that because so much of it is based on audio, and not just audio over your speakers, your headset audio. You know what I mean? Like this is a unique experience, right? I can't begin to imagine what the audio experience is like now, given what the visual experience is like now. Because the first game gave us a hell of a visual experience for what it was worth. And I was blown away with how the schizophrenic voices worked in your headset. I love that. Fam, you're telling me, because we didn't experience that. We didn't know how that worked really. We heard the voices, but it's not the same until you actually feel it. Mm-hmm. I don't even know what they're going to do with that, bro. Like, I don't
like when the original game dropped, we didn't even have like any of the like extra audio stuff. We don't have Dolby Atmos or any of that stuff. Like the 3D audio from Sony, like none of that stuff existed back then. So now to have the enhanced like Dolby Atmos stuff, yeah, it's gonna be crazy.
That game is unique, man. It is its own game, and I love that. I love how there's not even a lot. There is no other game like it. Period. And I love that Xbox gets to have that dub for a second because there was so much bullshit being said about them not having the narrative hitters. This is the first one that I'm saying. I'm not even gonna count the first one like that yet because that was like the pioneer for this one. But this Hellblade 2, I don't hear nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I hope it hits how it's supposed to hit. So, all right, that's the first one. The second one is the Arc Raiders game. The reason why is because y'all know I be playing the shit out of Destiny. This game to me looked like Destiny before Destiny. I don't know if it has looter shooter functions or whatever in it. I didn't really say any of that, but the gameplay, how it's a 3-man co-op team, how everybody on the team has their own roles and abilities or functions. I don't know how you want to say it, but it looks a lot like Destiny, man. It looks a lot like boots on the ground Destiny. You know what I'm saying? Like not blasting fire at somebody or whatever. It looked like they were right on the cusp of you played Destiny, right? You know how they always talking about the golden age and how things were so beautiful and technology was so great and then everything went to shit and then the Destiny universe became what it is.
Yeah.
This looks like what happened before everything went to shit. And I'm like, yeah. And then the big mech wars that you're going to be doing with your boys or whatever and all that stuff, like, dog.
I feel like I was trying to get an understanding in the trailer. Like, Manny was saying like, oh, it looks like it's just a 3-man squad. But then like there was a couple cuts that we both ended up talking about later while we were watching the trailer. It was like, that's more than 3 people running around, right? Like, is it like a 5-man squad, a 6-man squad? Like, I cannot wait to get more details about that game because it's very interesting. And I don't fully know what it is yet, but I'm intrigued. They caught me with that trailer for sure.
Yeah, man, that's my number 2, man. I'm souped on both of these 2 games right now. Just to say in general, though, this Game Awards blew last year's out of the water. I could have picked a couple other things to talk about too, but I was limited to this too. But this was a good Game Awards, man. This was a good Game Awards
for sure.
It was.
Man, what do you think, man? What 2 are you taking?
Let's start off with the delicious last course. No. Man, realistically, I mean, of course, I would say Hellblade, but I can't just be stealing answers like that. Hellblade, definitely a showstopper. I mean, the game looked amazing, realistic. Like, I'm not gonna lie, the whole trailer I was like, all right, like, is it like, it just blew my mind because I was like, okay, this is just cinematic part. They're gonna show the gameplay, right? And then the cutscene, like the shit ended, and I'm like, wait, that was gameplay. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, the game definitely like blew my mind. But if I had to pick 2 different ones though, excited to see new gameplay trailer for the new Saints Row game. Sadly, it being delayed all the way back to August 23rd. Definitely is a heartbreaker, but I'm glad they, show a little bit of like gameplay of like stuff that basically going to go on around the world and a lot of mayhem and everything like that. It definitely looks like it's going to be a great time. Can't wait to play it. I'm just upset that it did get pushed back for like another 6 months. And I was like looking at the trailer. I know before the game got delayed, but like I remember looking into a trailer and I'm like, oh man, I can't wait to play this in February. It's gonna be great. And then I saw the end where they showed the release and I'm just like, dang. Yeah, I mean, like, definitely a great game, but I forget what the other game was. I'll say Texas Chainsaw Massacre for now, but the Texas Chainsaw Massacre definitely did like look like it has potential. I just hope it doesn't end up being like another Friday the 13th game where they like support it for a little bit, and the next thing you know, it's like, that's it. They lost licensing, so you won't see anything from the game anymore. That was kind of a bummer. We did have a lot of great times, especially like that one time we were playing. And Denzel was a snake because they all got a car and they all bounced. And you can hear in the proximity chat them driving away. I'm like, yo, pick me up. And then you hear them like talking. I don't know if we have the clip or not, but like they were talking, and I was just like, oh, pick me up.
I am determined to find that clip because it is literally one of my like peak gaming moments. It was so fucking hilarious. If you guys don't know anything about like Friday the 13th and how it works, when you're in game chat, it's proximity based chat. So you can't hear anybody until you're right near them. So I think it was, I know Isaiah was in the car. I don't remember who else was in the car.
I think it was Javon. But
So the way the car, we happen to get a 4-seater car. There's 2 cars that appear on the map. One of them is a 2-seater, one of them is a 4-seater. So Isaiah, Javon, and I all worked together to get like the gas and the keys and the battery to put in the car so we could escape and get the hell away from Jason. So, oh man, this is like it's such a good moment. So we're out, we're booking it. All of a sudden, Manny is on the side of the road, and he's like, "Guys, no!" Like, and you could hear it, like because it's like it sounds louder the closer you get, and then the further away you get. Like it's just so fucking comical. And then I think what happened? Did we like try to stop? And then
y'all did not try to stop. Y'all just kept on going out. Y'all said something to me. I forgot what y'all said.
I think I slowed down, but then he was there, and so we were like, "Nah, you're done." Like we dipped, and then he,
you just gotta take this L.
Yeah,
I was like, no, bro. And then moments later, as you can probably guess, I was murked by Jason.
He was dead, but we made it out. We appreciate your sacrifice. We appreciate your sacrifice.
So
Shorty had a statue for you in the city.
There you go.
That's a hero.
we told stories about your sacrifice, right?
Yeah, I guess the living legend.
Yeah, man, he ran right up to Jason, smacked him in the face, and we just ran off crying. Oh, he was so heroic.
We didn't tell him anything about that scream you did. We just we made you sound very
we'll hear. You guys will hear.
Oh man, you gotta find that clip and put it in, man. At this point, because man,
it's so good. But yeah, no, I'm really excited about the Texas Chainsaw Massacre game. I don't understand like how it works. It doesn't seem like it is like a Friday the 13th or Dead by Daylight, right? It seems more story based.
I don't like. Kind of give me like vibes of just like. Because they showed in the trailer, I believe they show like what it looks like to be like, if they were like a counselor from Friday the 13th, like running and hiding. But I mean, we still gotta wait for like more information on the game.
For sure,
it would be nice. But if they do go more of like a story route of like a single player game, then I could I wouldn't be mad as well. I like to try new things.
Yeah, I'm definitely curious, and I'm also here for all the survival horror. Which leads into my 2 picks. I don't understand how Chris didn't pick this, but
I wanted to, but I could not talk.
I didn't want to. I didn't want to like take it either. I know which one you're gonna say.
All right, I appreciate y'all giving me the opportunity to talk about this because I'm very, very excited about it. Alan Wake 2, ladies and gentlemen.
God damn part 2.
It's coming. Not only coming, but pause. It's not a psychological thriller anymore. It's a survival horror game. So it's Remedy's first attempt at a survival horror game. I was watching an interview that he did with Ryan McCaffrey at IGN, where he kind of talks about the decision to make a survival horror game, and they're very excited for it to be their first, and they think that they said if we were to continue to tell Alan Wake's story, what's the best genre that would allow us to have the most narrative flexibility was basically the term that he used. And he said that survival horror was the best one. And I would have to agree, as I'm such a huge fan of that genre, a la Resident Evil, which was technically sort of a snub for Game of the Year, but we'll save that for later. sort of, I said. But yeah, no, that, man. For those of you who watched the co-stream or the live stream, I knew immediately that it was Alan Wake 2 too. Like, I think they showed like the first 2 scenes, and then as soon as the actor started talking, I was like, Alan Wake? And I'm so fucking excited, man. And so they said Sam Lake, who was the head of Remedy, he said that They got the original voice actor. They got the original mocap actor as well. And I don't know how much of those graphics from that trailer are indicative of what we should expect to see, but that little CG thing of Alan, he looked that
He been through it.
very. He looked like he definitely been through it, but like the fidelity on his face, like it looked very good. But my man grew a whole ass beard. He has seen some shit. So
old man Allen, bro.
he has seen a lot of shit, bro. If I mean, the game's been out for a long time, so I guess it's not really a spoiler, but the state that we left him in at the end of the first game, he was like, his mind was basically trapped in like the shadow dimension. So I don't know where they're going with this one. All I know is that in the trailer, it just looked like there was a lot of different biomes, like a lot of different environments that you see. If I remember correctly, there was like a snow thing. There was some green grass and whatnot. Like they definitely seem to be indicating that there's going to be a lot of different things that you go through in this new game. And I'm very excited for it. So that's my first one. The second one, again, another one I'm surprised Chris didn't mention, is the new Star Wars game, Star Wars Eclipse. Oh my God. I just blanked on the name of the developer. Quantum Dream. Quantic Dream. Okay, yeah. So the same people who made Beyond Two Souls. What was their most recent one? They made Heavy
Detroit Human.
Detroit Become Human. That was a really good game. So the idea that they are gonna just go all in, like basically, I feel like so a lot of people love the Telltale games, right? Quantic Dream is like an adult version of those Telltale games, right? Like they're very narrative focused, and there's a lot of dialogue involved and decision making involved and whatnot. It's a little less actiony, but it's just so well done. Like everything about it, it's like some of the most immersive gaming that I think you can really do with a controller. Like there's a lot of tension involved in those games. Like you have to press a certain button at this time, like a lot of quick time events. And yeah, we didn't know this was coming, right? Like this, we know that.
Oh no, hell no.
Yeah, we knew the Star Wars.
It was unexpected.
Right. Like it was definitely completely unexpected. And we knew that the Star Wars license obviously was no longer with EA, so anybody could make a game possibly. And we know that Quantic Dream branched off from Sony and like the idea of making exclusive games to do more multi-platform stuff. So like this seemed like such a freaking amazing marriage, man. Like it's
yeah, man.
I feel like one episode when we talked about like the Star Wars games, I feel like one of y'all mentioned y'all wanted it to be like a Quantic Dream type of game, but like
I think if anybody said it,
I feel like one of us did mention it. So like, you know, if only we can like Google search that and put in mark.
Yeah, man, I'm shocked that this is even coming, bro. I'm shocked.
Yeah. I remember like, is that the Ubisoft game? Like, you know, we're like, oh
yeah, that was, we were both saying that. I was like, is this the Ubisoft game? Like, because that's what we were all expecting, right? Like, okay, well, we know they're making a Star Wars game, so is this it? It looked beautiful, like absolutely stunning.
Definitely.
I cannot wait to see gameplay on this because I'm here for Star Wars stuff for sure.
Definitely. I'm surprised you didn't mention Rumbleverse. That's the one I was gonna say.
That's cool too.
You know what made me mad, bro? I got in on the beta and like they sent me the beta code the day of the beta, but it's on PC and I just did not have time to do that. I was like,
you should have told me. Just let me the beta code.
You didn't sign up?
I did sign up, but I didn't get a code.
Oh, damn. My bad.
Was it just like a 1 day thing? Like
it was a 1 day thing. They were like, here's the first look, and that was it. Like 1 day.
That's whack.
Yeah.
That's whack.
I agree. Well, aside from the two games that we all picked, you know, is there any other runner-ups or any other announcements you want to talk about? I mean, for me, one of the big ones was definitely the Matrix game. Experience for sure.
And that was I'm still wilding out over that Matrix shit.
Like it looks amazing. I'm so glad gaming is like getting to that point. We're getting there, guys.
I watched that shit like this. The whole thing. I was just,
Bro, when they finally, I was like, all right, when do I like start playing? Like, what's happening here? And then when they finally like have you in the car, like it's basically, I don't know, it's hard to say that you're playing per se, but obviously everything that's happening is in real time. So in theory, you could be playing. It's just that it's a tech demo, so like there's only so many things that they're really gonna bother doing with it. But everything about the fidelity of the game when you're like shooting out the tires, like the way that I think I was telling you this, Chris, like it just really resonated with me. The way the agent's clothes were like flapping in the wind.
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit. It just looked so freaking good. And the idea that like the physics engine is doing all this stuff in real time and still having everything look beautiful. Like if you shoot the right tire out or the left tire out, like it depends on what, like it basically affects the physics of everything else around it. It's just, it's so good. And the fact that they then unleash you on that same city that you were in that chase with, like right after.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember showing like the whole city and like, all right, it's like you press these buttons and it shows like how it's working and everything like that. So okay, that's it. We'll never be able to play this, except for like that little chasing again. But then you start walking. I'm like, wait, what? I can actually control this person to move and do whatever I want.
Yeah,
that part had me fucked up. I was like, wait. And then and I didn't even think about going into a car. I walked up to a car and the prompt came up. I said, wait, what?
Yeah, I was driving.
Yeah. The driving's a little wonky. That's probably the only problem I had with it, really. But like obviously it wasn't,
but it was
they were
tech
focused
demo,
on. Yeah. But man, for a tech demo. And you know what though? That's one thing that I think you could say is a benefit of all of this like COVID stuff and like all this remote stuff now. That demo would have been reserved for like GDC and just like having developers see that and inspiring them to do stuff. Like we would have never gotten our hands on that in the past, right? But because of the nature of how things are now, it made sense to release that to the public and have people, get their hands on it, this, that, and the other, be excited about it. Man, I feel like we had to talk about that because it's just it's too good.
Definitely.
Good. Dude, they got the hair right, bro. Like I can't tell y'all how much I've been like, for years, I've been like, yo, when they gonna get this hair right, fam? When they gonna stop having this shit look like somebody took a big ass ball of yarn and just took scissors and just, when they gonna stop having it looking like that, bro? The fact that I couldn't tell because I think they said that they took shots of real Keanu in the beginning and blurred and switched it in and out with the other one, and I couldn't tell which one was which until they zoomed out with him and Trinity walking, and you could see like his body in the suit. The body looked not bad, but not real, like how his face and shit looked.
Yeah.
So then I was like, okay, I can tell that that's CGI. Oh my god! Holy crap! I'm like, what the hell? The mouth, dude. Did y'all watch the conversation that him and Trinity had in the car, and the mouth recognition and shit, bruh? It is spot on. It is like no matter what game I played, it's
they need to make a game now. They need to just take those assets and just make the fucking game. Like Keanu Reeves and Carrie-Anne Moss, who plays Trinity. They both had an interview with The Verge, I think it was, and they were talking to him about the idea of making a game. Like Keanu Reeves never really played a game. He never played Cyberpunk. He said he like all of those things have been demoed to him, like they've been played for him. But they asked him like, would you be willing to do like a Matrix game? And he was like, what a wasted opportunity. Why is there not already a full-fledged Matrix game? There's been two. There's Enter the Matrix and then Path of Neo, but they were never really the story, like the Matrix story, right? Like they never really told it from the whole trilogy. And he was like, what a wasted opportunity. Why has this not already been done? He said he's like, I'm totally down to do it. And Carrie-Anne Moss said she's down to do it if he's down to do it, if the script is right and so on and so forth. So Matrix.
I was hoping this was like I was hoping the Matrix little demo they had was like a little demo for a possible game that they had coming, but hopefully they do come up with something with like the Matrix franchise because like Keanu said, it's just wasted potential. Just it's been like 4 generations since we had a Matrix game, 3 generations maybe, but like it's about time, especially with the next gen hardware.
Mhm.
I mean, we've seen what happened with the little tech number they had, and just imagine like if they did a full blown game, but and actually dedicated like a lot of people to do it. So
Man, I just want open world, running from agents, like the kung fu fighting and all that stuff. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Isn't it weird that my brain went to Spider-Man for a second, like when I was watching it? Because when they do that one shot of the whole city or whatever,
Mhm.
like my brain started going to like what other games like would take advantage of being able to create a world like this, And like Spider-Man popped into my head because I'm like,
Yeah.
dog.
I think Danny said the same thing. Danny said
Like-
he thought about Spider-Man, like if they used this engine in Spider-Man, like it would be amazing.
that's one. Oh my goodness.
Like the way it would handle the ray tracing and all that stuff, and just being it. Oh,
Even Spider-Man now looks amazing, but just like having that photorealism
yeah,
would definitely change the game.
bro. This last thing I'm gonna say before we move on to the next thing about the Game Awards, but like, dude, the fact that there's no poppin', like I didn't notice any poppin' driving around that city, and like that was like a big thing that it's always been an issue with Unreal Engine or even just open world games in general. Like you're driving through and like some like a texture like hitches and then it's like boom, like all of a sudden it just pops into the world. Like Cyberpunk is notorious for that. You'll see things pop in and out of the screen like on the regular.
Yeah, they'd be annoying.
It's streaming the assets in like it can't stream the assets in fast enough. So the fact that Unreal Engine is efficient enough to be able to see a lot of different things in the distance and then have the fidelity just get better as you get closer, but not pop in, very, very impressive. Like yeah,
man.
Next generation of gaming, man. It's exactly the type of shit I was expecting to see with the Series X and PS5. So yeah, pumped for it. But yeah, so diving back over to the awards side of things here. Before we get into the Game of the Year stuff too, I just want to talk about what you guys thought would have been the biggest surprise of the night. So we're gonna go around again. Manny, I'm gonna start with you this time though. What do you think is the biggest surprise of the night, like as far as award winners go?
You know what? I think the biggest surprise, in my opinion, is how Giancarlo Esposito ain't won that best performance. You know what I'm saying? Like, if that's what you mean by like you're surprised, but
Yeah, no.
oh yeah, I was surprised because like, he's such a great voice actor and actor, let alone, of course. I kind of feel like maybe he didn't win because of the hate that Far Cry 6 been getting. I think it's like one of the lowest rating like user scored games, and Metacritic and all that kind of stuff. And obviously you got the other side where Maggie has her cult following as Lady Demetrius. So I'm not surprised about that either. But I mean, I said. I'm not surprised yet because like at the end of the day it is user based voting. So like like I said, she has like a cult following. Them simps, like voting on her real quick. Even though she only like there for not even a third of a game.
Yeah, she was she was there for a quarter of the game. She was so insignificant as a character. Like it's just
It was such a letdown, man, because like like they in the trailers they hyped her up to be like the main villain kind of thing. And then they play the game, it's like, wait, that's it.
Yeah,
she's on.
It was interesting to say the least. But Chris, what do you think, man? What's your surprise of the night, snub, or whatever you say?
All right, man. So I'm gonna just keep it a whole 2 Virgils. I really was okay with most of the winners of the night, with all the things that we seen, and the one category that I didn't understand was most anticipated upcoming game, right?
No,
it's not hate. It's not hate. It's logic. Come on, listen. How you gonna put Elden Ring in a category with Forza? Not Forza. I'm sorry. Horizon Forbidden West, God of War. What else was in that thing?
Sequel to Breath of the Wild 2.
Breath of the Wild, yeah.
Breath of the Wild 2, and somehow, and maybe I'm wrong. You know what? Maybe I might have to eat crow. Maybe there's that many people out there that would say, "Yo, I'm waiting on this Elden Ring, fam." I don't believe it, but
Hey, clearly it is though. It's fan voted, but yeah.
I mean,
but like, that's why I'm like, yo, I need to see how they're doing this.
But you know what though?
How's this working?
I do think one of the things that's interesting about like something like that is that obviously the voting gets dispersed. Like, I mean, obviously that's how votes go, but I wonder, like, I don't know. I'm with you on this one because, like,
It just doesn't
come
make
on,
sense.
man.
nah, man.
What do you mean it doesn't make sense?
Manny,
Is it not one of the most anticipated games?
Be
though?
real.
Over
though.
God of War, over all these games,
over all those games you just talked about, like God of War is considered like the last God of War is considered a perfect video game. Like,
come on, bro.
Like you said it yourself. That's like your favorite game of all time.
It is.
And a lot of people say that. So like,
I'm gonna put it like this.
Go ahead.
All right, my bad. Well, I'm sorry to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
I feel like the reason why God of War probably didn't win is because we still don't know when God of War is going to come out. So it's probably like in the back of people's mind because I mean the game could potentially just release at 2023 and be like, damn, that's it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like it'll be next year's anticipated game. You know.
But last year, Elden Ring was the most anticipated game, and we didn't know when that came out. So that logic falls apart.
I can understand that. You know what I'm saying?
like last year, honestly, I wasn't mad about it. Last year, it made sense to me because there was so little known about it. Like at that point, it was like an urban legend, right? So like it was bigger than itself, and it made sense to me that it won last year. But to win again with God of War, Starfield, like all these games that, like, I mean, we don't know, but I would be shocked if they weren't better than this game. Like, I think Elden Ring is going to be a big game. I totally understand what's happening here. Like, I think there's a good chance that it's going to be in the running for Game of the Year next year. I'm excited for it as well. Like, don't get it twisted about like my expectations around that game. Like, even though I think the graphics are still a little like, I'm still very excited for that game. But for it to be voted the most anticipated over Breath of the Wild 2, over God of War, like that part to me seems wild.
No, not over.
I feel like it just probably has like it just probably has like the biggest following out of all of them.
I think that's fair. Because go ahead.
I was gonna say because like when you really think about it, like the God of War and Horizon franchise, before, you know, recently when they released on PC, it was just limited to like PlayStation. Whereas like we know Elden Ring is going to be available for everybody, and like, you know, you're not going to have like the haters be like, oh, it's PlayStation exclusive, so I don't care about the game. Same thing with Starfield. You know, I'm sure there's a lot of people salty about, you know, Microsoft acquiring Bethesda, so I'm sure not a lot of people voted for it for being like maybe a PlayStation fanboy. Breath of the Wild 2, I mean, I feel like that game's like been announced for like the last 5 years, so like there ain't no hype with that game.
Well, there is hype with that game. There is incredible hype. I feel like
game. Because of that. Well, personally, the hype for me isn't that great because like it's just been like so long, and it's like, yeah, I know you can argue actually with, you know, Elden, but
man, it just comes down to this. Comes down to this right here. Do you think it deserved to win most upcoming game? Most
anticipated game? I mean, I think the game is going to be great. So I feel like
my anticipation level yes or no, Manny? No.
I mean, the better question is
no, bro.
The better question is, what is your most anticipated game?
I mean, I answer God of War because you know, like you said, God of War is my favorite game.
That's fair. That's totally fair.
But I'm not mad at Elden Ring either, just because, like, you know,
somebody back.
I'm also excited for that too.
I don't know. I guess I'm more bothered that it was nominated than that it won, because I get that there's a large following. Like, a lot of people love the Souls games, and a lot of people like George R.R. Martin. So like, you kind of put that together, and this should be a hit. I'm just more bothered that it got nominated, because it was like, all right, like,
I guess I know what you mean, because it's like Genshin, where it's like, why is this here for a second year in a row?
Yeah, I didn't like that either with Genshin. I like, if anything, you put that in like under the ongoing. Yeah,
I think it was there actually. Was it as a nominee?
It was there. I forgot who won that one, but like, yeah, it was definitely an ongoing game as well.
It was that, and then mobile something like that.
So it one best mobile. Yeah,
I thought Chris was gonna take the ongoing game one. I'm a little torn. I think. You know what? No. I'm gonna stick to my guns here. My biggest surprise and my big snub, really, best score and music. Why the hell did Nier Replicant win that? Y'all can't tell me nothing. Artful Escape is in that category. Cyberpunk 2077 is in that category. Deathloop is in that category. And last but not least, Manny's favorite game, Guardians of the Galaxy is in that category. How the fuck does Nier Replicant win? Guardians of the Galaxy got them bangers because it's Guardians of the Galaxy, so you know it's got the classic rock songs, like amazing. It's built into the gameplay. Like, it's dope as fuck. Cyberpunk, I really enjoyed the music. Deathloop had great music, and the Artful Escape also had really good music. I've played Nier. It's fine. What the fuck? I just don't think it deserved to win.
I wonder what they mean by inclusive of score.
What's that?
What is it?
Because it says, for outstanding music, inclusive of score and original or licensed soundtrack. Yeah. Like, what do you mean by inclusive score? Like, are you talking about like the score points you get for every kill you get?
No. Like the score of like,
yeah, like score of music, like score of music, yeah. Okay,
makes sense. Basically,
yeah, like it's yeah.
But like, so I agree. I don't know how this one over Cyberpunk. Not Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk.
Cyberpunk.
What is it called?
Cyberpunk.
No, don't get me wrong. But like my pick was Guardians, and I feel like not only like it even says in here like licensed soundtrack. So I feel like it had the perfect soundtrack for the game it was supposed to be. But I mean, I haven't played Replicant, so I can't say.
I haven't either.
I don't know. The game doesn't look like it has to.
I ain't gonna act like. I'm pretty with you when I'm guessing that
I played enough to tell y'all that it don't have a better soundtrack than Guardians of the Galaxy. I'll tell you that. Unless I didn't beat it. So unless like the final boss has some freaking crazy, like godlike score equivalent to freaking the Sephiroth score in Final Fantasy or some shit. Like, no, you can't tell me nothing. Nier, no. I feel like it won just because it has some weird cult following as well. I feel like Nier is one of those games. It does have a cult following.
Yeah, it is. Like, there'll always be sequels made for that shit, bro.
Yeah, and I think that was like one of the only categories they were nominated for too, right? I don't even think they were in RPG. So
you gotta give them something. Take it.
Yeah. Honestly, that's kind of how I feel with Returnal. Returnal got Best Action Game, and I was like, did y'all just throw them a bone? Although I think they won the second thing too, but like, I don't know. I don't feel like they necessarily deserve that. Neither here nor there. But let's get into the big one, the big gunner.
The bones.
Game of the year. So, your boy here on this very podcast told y'all that there was a very good chance that It Takes Two takes home the grand prize. And sure enough, it did. A lot of people were shocked and confused. I just want to get your take, guys. What do you think? We've obviously talked about who should have been nominated, so we'll leave that discussion. In the past. But as far as who actually won, what do you guys think? Chris, I'm going to start with you.
I'm not mad at it. I think whenever you have game developers come up with a video game that's unique and try something new and it actually works, I'm not mad at them getting recognized for that, right? Because you took a risk. Like, this game could have fell flat on its face. This game could have literally been like 12 minutes. No bullshit. Like, no word of bullshit. So, like, yeah, I'm not mad at, giving them a little bit of time in the sun at all, actually, to be honest with you. I think the reason as to why a lot of people are confused and they don't understand it, because, all right, let's keep it a buck. I'm assuming a lot of people who don't understand it, they didn't even touch the game. Because if you're being real, if you're in the Microsoft Store, if you're in the PlayStation Store, and you're scrolling for a game, and you see It Takes Two, you're probably not going to like look at it at first glance and be like, ooh, I want to play this. Because it doesn't have that, you know what I'm saying? It's not that one of those kind of games. I don't think a casual person would stop and really, really try to give it a chance on that level sometimes. But that's the only reason why I think anybody would be confused as to why it was where it was. Because other than that, there really is no reason to be confused. If you knew about the game and if you played it or whatever, you would understand why it's getting the love that it's getting, kind of thing. To be honest with you, it's kind of similar to the Hellblade thing to me. Like a lot of people who haven't played Hellblade don't really know what it's about. So when you see what you see, you're like, well, how does this work this way? It's like, nah, fam, you play the game and you gonna understand what we're talking about, you know? So I think it's one of those situations kind of, but like even to a bigger degree, because Hellblade at least has an edginess to it that some people are gonna be like, ooh, what's this? I think it takes a certain person to stop and be like, what's this?
I think it's really funny that you say that. I mean, and obviously it's all a matter of perspective here, but you use the term casual. I feel like it's the complete opposite. Casual player will pick that up and take a look at it because it looks approachable. Casual player is not touching Hellblade. It's intimidating. It looks like that's for the hardcore gamers. So
yeah, I look at it way differently. That's weird.
Yeah, I mean, but I mean, this part of it is independent of like perspective though. Like Hellblade is a hardcore game. It Takes Two is a casual game. Like they're meant to be like Hellblade's not meant to be approachable. It Takes Two is very much approachable and meant to be like played by the widest set of people possible, right? So it's interesting that the way you worded it, because I think a hardcore gamer scrolling through the store is going to look at It Takes Two and be like, nah, I'm good. Unless you're like initiated in knowing that, okay, Joseph Ferris and his team at Hazelight made this. Well, they made a bunch of other really good games. Even though this doesn't look like something that I would necessarily play, I know that they've made great games before, so I'm going to try this. And that's where probably a lot more people have fallen into, aside from the casual people hearing it word of mouth, so on and so forth. But yeah, I think you wouldn't catch a casual person trying to play Hellblade. Like I tried to get my wife to play Hellblade. She was like, it's a little intense. Like, like what are all these whispers and all this shit like I'm hearing behind me and yada yada yada. Like, this is kind of scary. Like, you know, she's like, I'm good. But It Takes Two. She wants to play that all day. So
yeah, no, I get where you're coming from. I guess it's more in terms of just like the coolness appeal. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't scream that to me. Like when I look at It Takes Two and any of their promotional stuff, does it look like a cool game for me? Yeah, or for us or whatever, sure. But I don't know. I guess I have a hard time believing that somebody who just plays games casually is going to look at that on first glance and think, oh, cool. This looks like something that really draws me in. Because I didn't get that impression from it at all. I probably wouldn't have been as keen on it if you didn't tell me half the shit that you told me. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I don't know. Maybe I'm basing too much of my own shit in this, but that's the impression I got from it. It's not a game that I can stop on if I'm scrolling on first glance.
Yeah.
If I'm going through them, I might stop eventually, but it ain't the first one I'm going to stop on at all. So
I think when you say casually, like I interpret it like knowing what you're saying. I think you're meaning like the casual like Call of Duty player or like people who mainly play those types of games. Because if you're like,
is basic a better word or is that insulting? Because that's kind of he's okay with the basic.
I'm a basic gamer. No, let me stop.
Please, Manny.
I don't do nothing to play COD and 2K.
But if you're like the casual gamer who likes Mario and Mario Kart and Ratchet and Clank, like it is going to look appealing to you. But I get what you mean. Like the casual, I play Call of Duty every year and that's pretty much it.
Like that dude gonna be like, what the fuck?
Exactly. They're scrolling right past that. They're like, what is this? A little stuffed ant? Nah, we good.
But like they're casual and hardcore at the same time because that person's probably gonna buy COD every year, right? And he's gonna be on it. I don't even know how to describe them because they kind of fit both categories in a sense. At least
how about casual sweats?
I mean, are they sweats? I mean, we'll use that for now until we get something better. I'm with it.
We'll call them Devons because Devon's a casual sweat.
Devon's a little bit beyond the casual sweat. Don't disrespect my boy. Shout out to Devon. Shout out to the Balls Deep podcast over there.
Sorry, Devon.
Our sports guys. Don't be disrespecting Devon like that.
Devon. Love Devon, man. That's the guy.
Devon has some clutches too, man. Shout out to Devon.
I'll give him some.
He came clutching that Warzone game a couple months back. I remember that. With my dumb ass, I almost fucking sold, yo.
Oh my god.
Oh man, I put the whole team up for sale, bro. That shit was terrible.
Hey man, Devon saved the day. Shout out to Devon again. But back to It Takes Two. So yeah, Manny, I mean, were you surprised about this win? What's your take on it all? You think Resident Evil should have won? What's up?
Yeah, I know you put that little Resident Evil in just because I know you want me to say, of course, Resident Evil should have won. Not joking. Yeah, Resident Evil was my pick, so I was kind of upset that it didn't win. But I mean, like, I feel like It Takes Two. It's one of those games that like it probably does deserve it. I haven't played the game, so I can't say out of personal experience. But I mean, hearing it even from you guys, like how you guys say, like, not only like, sweat gamers or whatever will pick up this game, but like, more new gamers, like you said, and so with your wife, you playing the game together a lot. And like even Danny and Felix, when they be playing this game, they like sound like they're having a blast. I'm like, man, I should.
They're loving it.
And I'm like, man, I want to play this, but like I haven't wanted to play it because It Takes Two. But and speaking of It Taking Two, shout out to It Takes Two for taking 2 awards.
They did take two.
But yeah, they take best family and best game of the year. But yeah, like. I can't just be out here and be like, all right, it's like this indie game. It shouldn't have won. I'm not gonna say that. It deserves it. I'm sure, like, there's a reason why. Hopefully I'll find that second partner to play It Takes Two, and we'll to actually see why it won Game of the Year. Because like I remember I was saying like the same thing with the Walking Dead game by Telltales, and then like I played that and I'm like.
Yeah,
so I've been missing out. So like, I definitely gotta take a chance of it one day. Definitely was disappointed that it wasn't Resident Evil. I feel like that right there, Resident Evil was just like personally touched the heart. Really great game. And I was surprised too that Deathloop didn't even get it because I mean when that game came out, like all 10s across the boards, and I was like, in my head, I'm just like, yeah, all right, this is already set in stone. This game's gonna win Game of the Year just because it's like.
Deathloop lost a lot of categories that I thought it was going to get. Like I thought it would take action or action adventure, so on and so forth. It really did not get. Did it win anything? Wait, nope. No, it did. It did.
I think it won one.
Game design, game design or game direction.
Oh yeah.
All right, so that's at least if anything that had me happy. Something like that. Yeah, they deserve that one. Yeah, because I distinctly remember the guy getting on stage and talking. Yeah,
part of me feels like. It wasn't because, Microsoft acquired Bethesda. So, like, you look at it both sides of the tail. Probably people who play Xbox didn't vote for it because it wasn't on Xbox. And then you got people on, like, the Sony side that didn't vote for it because it's like, okay, I'm not going to support this company. You guys going to.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really, so that's how I can kind of see it not winning Game of the Year because. I mean, I was surprised about It Takes Two because It Takes Two like didn't really get that much attention as Deathloop got or like Resident Evil got or even Ratchet and Clank.
It definitely got a lot of attention. It got a lot of attention.
It did, but not the same kind of promotion. Well,
hold on. Time out. Wait, are we talking about promotion or attention from gamers and media? Because the media.
I'm talking about promotion.
Okay, but I feel like the promotion doesn't really matter for this. Like, what matters is like reviews and people like word of mouth. That's what to me. That's what will tell you what becomes Game of the Year, in my opinion. Like,
I mean, like personally, I didn't really hear from anybody, but like, I mean, it's probably just because the content creators I watch usually just like doesn't play games like that. Anyways, that's why I was surprised because like I didn't. See like my like I guess you could say content bubble of creators that I watch. They're mostly like I guess you could say battle royale. The casual sweats like I was talking about. but
yeah, like the media outlets is really the like the IGNs and the GameSpots and all that stuff. Like they were hyping the shit out of this game. Like when it came out, they were like, "Oh, this is great," yada yada yada. And then the word of mouth, like from the content creators I watched, like it was like a groundswell after that. And basically I've never heard a person say anything who's played it say anything bad about the game. So it really
which is well deserved.
Yeah, exactly. So definitely interesting.
Yeah.
Again, congratulations. You always gotta love those Game of the Year interviews after or last comment.
God. Yo, my guy Joseph Faris, man. They tried to keep the mic away from my guy the whole time. And then Jeff was like, yeah, all right, yeah, go ahead. Get up on stage. Just go, yo. Holmes is always like a walking viral clip, man. He always got some shit to say. He's always cussing off the handle, yada yada yada. I fucking love that dude, man. He always makes for a great moment at the Game Awards, and he makes fucking amazing games. Like Brothers was a great game, A Way Out, great game, and obviously now It Takes Two. So yeah, shout out to them. Fantastic. Over at Hazelight. I cannot wait to see what they're gonna do next. Obviously, they're kind of one of like EA's darling franchises now, or studios now. Like Respawn is like their darling AAA franchise, and Hazelight is their darling indie franchise. So the more money that they get, like I cannot wait to see what they're gonna do next. All this critical acclaim is well deserved. So yeah, definitely shout out to Hazelight, shout out to Joseph Ferris. Really, really big things. But yeah, I guess we'll table the conversation there for now because we're already well over an hour, as we normally are. So a little bit of housekeeping just to let you guys know. We're not going to be doing an episode in the coming weeks. We're pretty much not going to hit you guys with a new episode up until the new year. We do have some special things planned though in between. So keep an eye out for that. You may see some things up on the YouTube page and whatnot, but don't expect a full-fledged episode from us until the new year. Yeah, and that's pretty much it for now, guys. Before we go, as we always do, let's go around the table here. Manny, started off. Where can the people find you?
You already know. Twitch.tv/GoodMasterFlex, as well as Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at GoodMasterFlex. The only difference is I believe Twitter is GoodMasterFlex_TTV, but other one should be just GoodMasterFlex.
All right, word. Chris, where can people find you, man?
Man, you know, it's the same thing as always, y'all. I'm on everything. MAY25THX. Don't forget the XX, goddammit.
Don't forget the right.
It's always about the X. But yeah, guys, you guys can find me at Black Ice 8 everywhere. Xbox, Twitter, twitch.tv/Black Ice 8. On Instagram and TikTok, it's going to be Black Ice 8_gaming. So make sure to check me out. Talk about games, hit me up. And then also make sure to follow the podcast socials. We got at XPack Pod on Twitter and Instagram. And then on the TikTok, it's Expansion Pack Podcast. So again, make sure to check us out. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. If you guys are up on the YouTube, make sure to like and subscribe. You already know. Happy holidays, guys. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. We will see you guys in the new year. Peace.
Bye, y'all.